I'm the fake heiress who got booted from my family, yet I still married Aiden Cole, the rich and powerful man in charge of the Cole Corporation. After the wedding, he was cold and distant. He wouldn't even touch my hand. Then one day, I started hearing his thoughts. My wife is so beautiful, even when she's sleeping. Her waist is so thin. If I grabbed it and started thrusting, would it snap? I wonder what she'd sound like if I made her cry. I want to rip that dress off her and lock ourselves in the bedroom for 3 days straight. That afternoon, I was binge-watching a show on the couch and dozed off. I'm not sure how long I was out, but I woke up feeling an intense, heavy gaze on me. I peeked through my lashes. Oh, it was just my husband in name only, Aiden Cole. He was home. He stood by the couch in a perfectly tailored black suit, staring down at me with a frown. I quickly shut my eyes, hoping to play dead and get away with it. That's when his inner monologue exploded in my head. I nearly choked on my own spit and shot up, eyes wide open. My sudden movement seemed to startle Aiden. A flicker of something crossed his eyes before they turned icy again. If you're awake, go sleep in the bedroom. His voice was as cool as ever, his tone completely flat. Just as I was thinking I'd imagined it, the voice came back. Ah, man. She woke up too fast. I wasn't done looking. Okay, I definitely didn't mishear that. I watched his tall, lean figure walk away, and a bold, reckless idea popped into my head. I don't want to move. Can you carry me upstairs, honey? The air froze for 2 seconds. Honey. She called me honey. Is she flirting with me? She's asking me to carry her. She needs me. This is a gift from the gods. What am I waiting for? This is the first time my wife has ever asked me for help. Is he always this good at jumping to conclusions? He walked back, bent down, and scooped me up in his arms. Next time, just go straight to the bedroom to sleep. Okay. I'm finally holding my wife. She's so sweet. She's so soft and light, and she smells amazing. Aiden, Aiden, Aiden. So this is the real you. Well, don't blame me for what happens next. I watched the tips of his ears turn bright red and hid a smile. My name is Fiona. I used to be a carefree heiress. 2 months ago, the real heiress made her grand return, turning my life upside down. The daughter my parents had painstakingly raised for over 20 years was suddenly revealed to be a fake, switched at birth. The Devisas were shocked, panicked, and then quickly drew a line in the sand. Fiona, Cora has suffered so much over the years. We have to make it up to her, my mother said. You can go find your real family. They must miss you very much. The arranged marriage with Aiden Cole is still on, so don't worry about that. The woman who was once my mother tried to reason with me, laying it all out. But the people who were supposedly my birth parents were long gone. Just like that, I was homeless. As for Aiden, we went to the same university, but I barely ever saw him. In my mind, he was just some aloof rich kid with an intimidating presence. I was shocked when I found out after graduation that we were engaged. Everyone said Aiden was only marrying me, the imposter, to honor a promise made by the previous generation. After all, the engagement had been made for me. I believed it, too. Who was Aiden Cole? The current head of the Cole Corporation. He was wealthy, powerful, and could have any woman he wanted. So, for the past 2 months of our marriage, I did my best to be invisible and play the part of Mrs. Cole. Aiden, in turn, perfectly embodied the role of a respectfully distant husband. He was indifferent, and I was happy to have the peace and quiet. At least I'd never have to worry about money for the rest of my life. Being a couch potato with an unlimited budget didn't sound too bad. Although, as someone who's a sucker for a handsome face, I often found myself hugging my pillow at night, crying to the ceiling about the missed opportunity. But now things were different. It turned out Aiden, this man of ice, was a volcano on the inside. Before, his chilly, keep your distance vibe made me afraid to cross a single line. I was terrified he'd kick me out and I'd lose this life of luxury. But now? This couch potato is ready to flip. The next morning, I woke up early to make a special breakfast. Aiden was a little surprised. You don't have to make my breakfast. My assistant always gets it. Ah. My wife actually made breakfast for me. Does this mean she's starting to care about me? I feigned disappointment. Oh, I just wanted to try. If you don't want it, I'll just throw it out. No, don't. A change of pace is nice now and then. He very seriously began to tackle the heart-shaped, slightly burnt egg on his plate. It's good. Anything my wife makes tastes different. Although, it's a little hard. And kind of bitter. The taste is fine. Ha ha ha. I watched him eat every last bite without a change in expression, trying my best to suppress a smile. Really? I'll try something else tomorrow then. Aiden's hand, holding his cup, froze for a second. There's more tomorrow. My wife is going to cook for me again. Will it be too much work for her? Even though it was kind of bad. Whatever. For my wife, even a stomach ulcer would be worth it. Do what you want. As long as you don't regret it. Before he left, Aiden casually brought something up. There's a gala in a couple of days. Do you want to go with me? I was just starting to think my lazy life was getting a little boring. Sure. Not long after Aiden left, a package arrived. It was my new weapon of choice, purchased in a fit of passion last night, a set of sexy lace lingerie rumored to be able to tempt a saint. It was worth every penny. I held up the ridiculously skimpy lingerie, posing in the mirror and imagining Aiden's reaction when he saw me in it. Oh, Mr. Cole. A night of passion is priceless. You'd better not disappoint me. That evening, I showered early and changed into the lace lingerie. Damn, this was money well spent. I gave myself a wink in the mirror, spritzed on some perfume, and crawled into bed. When I heard footsteps downstairs, I immediately tossed my phone aside and got into position. Propped on one elbow, I lay on my side facing the door, my legs slightly bent, the hem of the slip just barely covering the top of my thighs. Yep, definitely. From the doorway, this was the perfect, most tantalizing angle. The footsteps got closer. 1 step, 2 steps. The door opened. The footsteps stopped at the entrance, and then came the volcanic eruption of Aiden's thoughts. What is she wearing? Why is she dressed so sexy at night? Damn, she looks so good. Is she trying to kill me, dressing like that? I held back a laugh, turned my head, and pretended I'd just noticed he was home. You're back. Aiden snapped back to reality, his voice a few notches lower than usual. Yeah. Why aren't you asleep? I couldn't sleep. I was waiting for you. I tilted my head, feigning innocence. Ah. Waiting for me. My wife said she was waiting for me. Is this a hint? Is she inviting me? Aiden's Adam's apple bobbed, his eyes dark and terrifying. You don't have to wait up for me. Get some rest. We'll see about that. I threw back the covers, slowly got out of bed, and walked barefoot toward him. With each step, the already loose neckline slipped lower, revealing more skin, and the hem swayed, offering tantalizing glimpses of my inner thighs. Aiden was frozen in place, his eyes glued to me. You're home earlier than usual today. I stopped in front of him and lifted a hand to brush my hair back, letting the neckline gape even wider. Yeah, finished up work early. Does she have any idea what she's doing? That neckline, if it goes any lower, I'm going to see everything. Aiden's gaze turned completely dark, his eyes swirling with thick desire, and his breathing grew noticeably heavier. I was laughing maniacally on the inside. Who told you to hold back? I bought this yesterday. Do you like it? Honey? I like it. His jaw was clenched tight, and a bead of sweat was forming on his forehead. Here it comes, it's coming. He's about to lose control. According to the movies, he's supposed to grab my waist, pull me in for a fierce hug, lower his head, crush his lips against mine, rip my lingerie to shreds, and then whisper, "You little temptress." I was getting lost in fantasies of our blissful night together. I waited eagerly for his next move. "You go to sleep. I'm going to take a shower." After dropping that line, he turned and practically fled to the bathroom. Hold on, what does that even mean? I looked down at my own killer curves, then at the closed bathroom door. Aiden, could it be that he's not up to the task? I waited in bed for half an hour before Aiden finally came out of the bathroom. Without even looking at me, he walked straight to the bed, pulled back the covers, and lay down. Wait. What is happening? Your beautiful, sexy wife is lying next to you, and you, a man in your prime, are just going to sleep. I turned on my side to watch him secretly. His eyes were closed, his breathing even. It seemed like he was really asleep. How can he have so much self-control? Or am I just that unappealing? I rolled over, pretending to be half asleep, and snuggled into his side, draping my legs shamelessly over his. His body immediately tensed up. My wife is holding me. She's holding me on her own. I really, really want to, but what if she thinks I'm being shallow? Is she testing me? I'm about to lose it. No, I have to take it slow. We've only been married for a short time. What if this is just a spur-of-the-moment thing for her? I froze. My earlier sense of defeat slowly morphed into a subtle, warm feeling. So, that's what you were thinking. Should I give him a clearer hint? Nah, forget it. A guy has to work for it a little, right? Since you're being so considerate, I'll let you off the hook for now. I found a more comfortable position and let myself drift off to sleep. After that night, Aiden was still his usual, icy self. But whenever we were in the same room, I could hear his non-stop inner monologue. With this new superpower, I was no longer on edge around him. After all, as a certified sucker for a handsome face, I'd had my eyes on this gorgeous man from the moment I first saw him. That Saturday, I attended a party with Aiden as Mrs. Cole for the first time. The moment we walked in, all eyes were on us. Look, that's Mr. Cole's wife. The fake Davis heiress. Damn, she's lucky. Kicked out by the Devises but still managed to latch onto the Coles. She's Mrs. Cole now, you guys. Keep your voices down. She's just an imposter. Who knows what tricks she pulled to get into that family? Whispers swirled around me from all directions. Ever since the Devises announced the truth about the switched heiresses, I'd heard these insults plenty of times. I was immune by now. Be jealous. No matter how jealous you are, my man is someone you can only look at, not touch. I kept a smile on my face and walked forward with my back straight. Aiden's expression was cold, as if he hadn't noticed a thing. But in his head, he was taking names. The one on the left, the Lee daughter. Such a big mouth. I guess we can pause our partnership with Lee Corp. The one on the right, Director Wan's wife. Her old man needs something to keep him busy. The ones in front, don't know them. I'll make a note. Have Alex put them on the Cole Corporation's permanent blacklist. Ha ha ha. You tell, Aiden. Humph. I shot a glance at the group of gossips. That'll teach you to run your mouths. We walked past them, and Aiden introduced me to a few of his business partners. They seemed to have known each other for years, speaking casually and familiarly. I rarely saw this side of Aiden. Just as I was getting lost in his charm, an unwelcome female voice cut in. Fiona, what a coincidence. You're here too. Oh, it's my dear sister Cora, and Mrs. Davis. For the sake of their reputation, after the Devises took Cora back, they announced publicly that they still considered me a daughter and that Cora should treat me like a sister. Fiona, you're here, my former mother said, greeting me awkwardly. Aiden and I just gave them a curt nod. There was nothing to say. Since my identity was revealed, the Devises had only shown up at my wedding. We hadn't had any contact since. At first, I'd held on to the hope that my mother had her reasons, that maybe she couldn't bear to let me go. So, I went to visit them after the wedding. Just ignore her. We raised her for over 20 years, we've done more than enough. She's not even our real daughter. Our poor Cora had to suffer so much in her place. I stood outside the door, feeling like I'd been plunged into ice water. Those words came from the same mother who had called me her precious daughter for all those years. 2 decades of mother-daughter love couldn't stand up to a little bit of DNA. It would be a lie to say I wasn't heartbroken. "Fiona, it's been a while," Cora said softly, her expression timid. "How have you been? Mom has been so worried about you." Mrs. Davis patted Cora's hand, her voice full of affection. "That's right, Fiona. Are you settling into married life? Cora is just too considerate. She's always thinking about you, worried you're not doing well." The lunch I'd eaten earlier almost came back up. It was as if they'd forgotten. When Cora first returned to the Davis family, she was bossy and demanding, constantly urging them to kick me out sooner rather than later. "Fiona, I hear you've just been staying at home lately?" Cora began to ramble. "If you're bored, you could join my pottery class. It's right next to the art gallery Mom bought for me. The environment is lovely. I mean, you're not doing anything else, so you must have plenty of time, right?" Her words were dripping with condescension and showing off. Just as I was about to fire back, Aiden spoke. "Miss Davis, my wife will decide how she spends her time." His gaze swept over them, cold as ice. "She'll do whatever she likes, and she doesn't need anyone else's opinion." Aiden's voice wasn't loud, but it cut clearly through the surrounding noise. "As for being bored," he continued, "she is Aiden Cole's wife. If she wishes, any resource under the Cole Corporation can be her plaything. You don't need to concern yourself." A hush fell over the room. Cora and her mother looked absolutely mortified. Especially Cora. She looked at Aiden, her eyes welling with tears, as if she couldn't believe he would speak to her that way. It made sense. She'd been smitten with him the moment she met him after returning to the Davis family. When she found out about the arranged marriage with the Coles, she wanted to scream it from the rooftops. Who knew the Coles would specifically request me? Her dream was shattered, and her hatred for me grew even deeper. "Aiden, Cora was just concerned about Fiona," Mrs. Davis said, her heart aching for her daughter. "She'd better be." But Aiden didn't spare them another glance. He said goodbye to a few friends and led me away. "Humph. No one gets to bully my wife." "Hey, so Mr. Cole comes with a built-in jerk detector." Not bad at all. This whole fiercely protective thing feels pretty good." I glanced back at Cora and her mother, still frozen in place. "Serves you right for putting on an act. You messed with the wrong guy." After the drama at the gala, I kept thinking about Cora's comment about me not having anything to do. It was annoying, but honestly, I couldn't just be a freeloader for the rest of my life. I did graduate from a top-tier university, after all. Just as I was thinking about looking for a job, Finn showed up at my door, sporting a head of silver hair. "Fiona, interested in opening an art gallery with me?" Finn is a third-generation trust fund kid and one of my few real friends. We hit it off back in high school. Finding out I was a fake heiress didn't change a thing for him. "I'll put up the money and do the grunt work. You provide the talent. We split the profits 50-50. You in?" Talk about a solution falling right into my lap. I was just wondering what kind of job to look for. Painting was perfect. It was my major, something I could do in my sleep. Just as I was about to agree, a familiar chill, accompanied by a powerful presence, washed over me from behind. "We have a guest." Aiden was home. Finn greeted him with a wide grin. "Hey, Mr. Cole, just getting off work? I'm here to talk business with Fiona." Aiden nodded but didn't say anything, heading straight upstairs. But my head was a different story. What is that peacock Finn doing here with my wife? Can't he find someone else to partner with? And he calls her Fiona. Standing so close to my wife, does he have a death wish? I can tell he's up to no good. Don't think I don't know about those rumors about them. Trying to steal my wife? Not a chance in hell. Fiona, what are you smiling about? I cleared my throat, trying to suppress my laughter. Nothing. Just thinking about the feasibility of a gallery. What's there to think about? Finn slapped his thigh excitedly. Stick with me, kid, and you'll be living the high life. He launched into a passionate pitch about his grand vision. In the end, I didn't agree on the spot. I just said I'd think about it for a few days. After Finn left, I went upstairs and knocked on the study door. Finn was just here to talk about partnering on an art gallery. I'm actually pretty good at painting. I know. Aiden's face was expressionless. And Finn and I are just friends. Those rumors from college were complete nonsense. I walked over to explain. As much as I enjoyed watching this Ice King get jealous over me, I didn't want any unnecessary misunderstandings. Sure enough, as soon as I said it, the tension in Aiden's face eased almost imperceptibly. Is my wife explaining things to me? Is she worried I'll get the wrong idea? Does she have feelings for me, too? On the surface, however, he was a picture of calm, just humming in response. Did you agree to it? I haven't decided. I'm worried I'll screw it up. I felt a little embarrassed. For the past 20-odd years, I'd been living under the title of an heiress. Besides spending money and being lazy, I hadn't really developed any marketable skills. Aiden took off his wire-rimmed glasses and was silent for a few seconds. Come work at Cole Corp. Huh? The Cole Corporation is a leader in finance, real estate, and tech. What would I even do there? I don't think there are any positions that would suit me. You could work in administration. The work is simple. A flash of hope flickered in his deep eyes. It didn't feel right. It had nothing to do with my major. I hesitated. Someone will train you, he said, a note of temptation in his voice he didn't even seem to notice. Just try it out. If you don't like it, we can figure something else out. Proximity is the best advantage. If I keep her under my nose, no one can try to steal her away. A secretarial role would be best. Right by my side. I could see her all the time. Perfect. Say yes, honey. The days are so long when I can't see you at the office. Ha ha ha. So that was his game. Seeing him trying to act all casual, like he was just offering a suggestion, when his inner voice was screaming with desperation, my hesitation melted away. Fine. I'm bored anyway. Okay, I'll give it a try. Ah, my wife agreed. I can see her at the office every day now. I'll have Alex set up a desk for her close to me. I'm done for. I feel like I've fallen right into Aiden's carefully laid, sweet trap. On my first day, I sat at the secretary's desk outside the CEO's office, feeling a little dazed. Everyone was running around like Njihov heads were on fire. But the chief secretary treated me like a fragile porcelain doll. Mrs. Cole, why don't you start by familiarizing yourself with the company structure, she said, handing me a stack of documents thicker than a pillow. This was so boring. It was worse than lying around at home. At least at home I could watch TV. By afternoon, I couldn't take it anymore. I pushed open the door to the CEO's office. Aiden was sitting at his massive desk, signing documents. He was wearing a silver shirt today, sleeves rolled up to his elbows, which made the lines of his face look even more handsome. God, how can someone look so good even from the side? Is something wrong? Fiona, you're not here to drool. I've been reading documents all day. Can you give me something else to do? The basics are important. Humph, who would dare give my wife work to do? Filling out spreadsheets is so tedious. What if she gets a headache? My wife's skin is so delicate. I can't have her running around getting tired. Aha, so the culprit was right here. Well, seeing as your intentions were good, I'll let it slide for now. I want to do work I'm capable of, too. I put on a hurt expression. Or do you just see me as some useless vase who can't do anything? The guilt trip worked like a charm. A flicker of panic crossed Aiden's eyes. I don't look down on you. My wife is so ambitious. Fine, if she wants to prove herself, I'll let her. I'll just have to check on her more often to make sure she's not overworked. I barely managed to stifle a laugh. I watched him make an internal call to Alex to arrange some actual tasks for me, then walked out, my heart doing little flips. Over the next few days, the door to the CEO's office opened and closed with suspicious frequency. It made the entire secretarial pool so nervous they buried their heads in their work, not daring to stop for a second. Sigh. I feel so guilty. I'll have to buy them extra coffee from now on. Working at Coal Corp was actually pretty nice. And Aiden and I were making some progress. Worth noting, however, is that we were still just platonic roommates who shared a bed. That's right. In the bedroom, he made no moves. I had no idea what the problem was. One evening on our way home from work, I was trying to decide if I should just make the first move. Suddenly, Aiden stopped, throwing his arm out in fexija my chest. Aiden Cole, you ruined my family. Go to hell. A man with a mangled beard and a twisted face lunged at us with a knife. Look out. It all happened so fast. By the time I reacted, Aiden had already shielded me, taking a deep gash to his arm. The smell of blood filled the air. The man was crazed, slashing wildly. Garage security guards heard the commotion and rushed over, tackling and restraining the man, who had apparently lost everything on a bad investment. Thankfully, Aiden's wound wasn't too serious. The doctor said he just needed a few days of rest. Since his right arm was injured, showering at night became a problem. The doctor said the wound can't get wet. I'll help you, I volunteered, steeling myself as I started unbuttoning his shirt. Aiden hesitated, then said, okay. It was my first time washing a man. I was a little nervous. The bathroom was steamy. Aiden sat on the edge of the tub, his toned upper body exposed. His muscles were lean and defined, his V-lines disappearing into the waistband of his pants. This body. And for 2 months, I hadn't been able to see or touch it. Such a total waste. I gripped the wet washcloth, fighting my baser instincts, and started washing his back. Droplets of water ran down his spine, tracing the dimples of his lower back. My eyes involuntarily followed a single drop downward. My wife's hands are so soft. Why is she washing so slowly? Does she know she's playing with fire? Her breathing is so close. If she keeps touching me, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Aiden's thoughts snapped me back to reality. I swallowed hard and moved to his front. Gulp. A perfect 8-pack of abs rose and fell with his breathing, right before my eyes. On impulse, I reached out and poked one. The texture was incredible. What have I been missing these past 2 months? Ugh. What's wrong? My hand was suddenly caught. Aiden's voice had become raspy. And nothing. Just checking your muscle tension. The doctor, taught me. Aiden stared at me, his eyes terrifyingly dark. He finally took a deep breath and let go. Continue. I nodded frantically. By the time I finished his upper body, my face was burning. Do your pants need changing? Can you wash the rest yourself? No need, Aiden refused flatly. I thought he meant he wouldn't wash, and I disapproved. The doctor said you need to stay clean, especially since it's summer. Are you sure? Of course. What was there to be sure about? All right. Aiden slowly stood up, and then, swoosh. His pants and underwear hit the floor together. No warning, no preparation. This is going to kill me. I spun around instantly. Why didn't you say you were taking them all off? Didn't you say I needed to wash? This was a huge misunderstanding. For the rest of the cleaning, I kept my eyes squeezed shut. Thankfully, nothing else unexpected happened. When I was done, I didn't dare look at Aiden, but I accidentally caught our reflection in the mirror. His face was even redder than mine. His handsome features looked like they were holding something back with extreme effort. My eyes darted the towel wrapped around his waist. He was pitching a tent. Ha ha ha. I scrambled out of the bathroom, closing the door behind me and bursting into a fit of giggles. A week later, Aiden's arm was finally fully healed. I was so relieved. After all, helping him wash every day was a serious test of my willpower. Aiden was even more eager than I was, heading straight to the office the day after his bandages came off. "Mrs. Cole, does Mr. Cole have any plans for his birthday this year?" Alex, his assistant, approached me. I realized Aiden's birthday was in a few days. My heart sank. Aiden and I were supposed to be husband and wife, but I didn't know the first thing about him, let alone his birthday. I had no idea what he liked or disliked. But now that I knew, a gift was a must. After all, we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. I spent the afternoon scouring the mall, finally stopping at a high-end bespoke tailor. The saleswoman recommended several items, and in the end, I chose a tie. "Your husband will be so happy to receive this." I stared at the long string of zeros on the price tag and gritted my teeth as I swiped my card. He'd better be happy. Turns out, my worrying was for nothing. Aiden had completely forgotten his own birthday. He was a little stunned when I gave him the gift box. "Thank you," he said, opening it on the spot. "Ah, a gift from my wife. I love it. How did she know it was my birthday? Has she been secretly paying attention to me?" His long fingers brushed over the velvet box, his touch as gentle as if he were handling a priceless treasure. Since this was our first birthday together as a married couple, I asked if he wanted to throw a party. "No need. Having my wife is enough." Ha ha ha. Is he really that easy to please? I was happy that he liked my gift. I just didn't expect his fondness to get so out of control. For the next few days, it was as if that tie was permanently welded to his neck. The atmosphere in the executive office criterios weird. "Hey Andy, is the company having cash flow problems?" "Haven't heard anything. I'll go poke around the finance department later." "No way, the company just approved a new billion-dollar project last month." "No, does this mean I can't buy that new bag I was eyeing last month?" The fires of gossip were burning bright. I stood outside the break room to sisos a cup of coffee, not sure whether to go in or retreat. "Mr. Cole, look what you've done." Just as I was trying to figure out a diplomatic way to suggest Aiden wear a different tie, someone who'd heard the rumors showed up. "Heard you're going bankrupt. Your buddy is here to check on you." It was Aiden's childhood friend, Nate, a notorious playboy in their circle. "What brings you here?" "Just bored." "Oh, hey, Fiona's here too." This was my first time slacking off in Aiden's office for afternoon tea. "Hi." He must have noticed I was a little uncomfortable, because he waved his hand. "Don't mind me, Fiona. Just here to chat." Then he turned back to Aiden with a sly grin. "So, what's the deal?" "My sources tell me Cole Corp is about to go under." "That's absurd. Where there's smoke, there's fire." He rubbed his chin, then leaned in close to Aiden. "That tie, it looks familiar. Weren't you just wearing it at the reception the other day? If you have something to say, say it. Not really your style. When did your taste change?" "Your sister-in-law gave it to me for my birthday." "It goes with everything," he said, a hint of pride in his voice. "What would a single dude like you know? My wife just has great taste." "Fiona got it for you?" "No wonder. It looks great on you." Nate was a sharp cookie. He then shot a wink at me, pretending to be deaf and dumb on the side. "Fiona, if he keeps wearing that tie, all of Cole Corp's partners are going to run for the hills." I just laughed nervously and said nothing. Aiden shot him a warning glare. "You have nothing better to do?" "Fine, fine. Nate threw his hands up in surrender. I'll just say a few words to Fiona and then I'm out. I have nothing to say to a playboy like you. Remembering the rumors about him, I sat up straight. Fiona, haven't seen you in a while. You're looking radiant. Looks like Mr. Cole is taking good care of you. I suspect you're making a dirty joke, but I have no proof. I'm doing okay. There's something I've been meaning to tell you, he said, suddenly lowering his voice and getting serious. I couldn't help but lean in. Fiona, do you want to know one of Aiden's secrets? He was being so mysterious. I followed his gaze to Aiden, who was busy at his desk. Aiden's secrets? Of course I did. Tell me, I whispered, my voice even lower than his. A wicked, triumphant grin spread across Nate's face. On the bookshelf in your study, there's a box hidden up there. Inside. Nate, I want the West Side Project proposal on my desk tomorrow. That's just cruel, a thwarted Nate complained, jumping to his feet. Can't I just leave now? He turned and said a few more words to Aiden. Before he left, he winked at me again. Later, Fiona. The office fell silent. Aiden's gaze fell on me. What did he say to you? Oh, just asked if I wanted to hang out in a few days. Go to some of the places you guys used to go. I don't know why, but I lied. Aiden let out a nearly imperceptible sigh of relief. Do you want to? If not, you don't have to. We'll see. I felt a pang of disappointment. The thought that Aiden was deliberately hiding something from me soured the rest of my workday. A few days passed. I couldn't take it anymore. That weekend, I made up an excuse to go into the study. I walked in and went straight for the bookshelf. A box, where was the box? As I was getting antsy, my eyes caught something in the top left corner of the shelf. A black box, partially hidden by several thick books, with just a corner peeking out. Found it. I was about to grab the stepladder. The door clicked open. A second later, Aiden strode in, moving as fast as the wind. Before I could react, he was standing in front of me. What book are you looking for? I'll get it for you. He was panting slightly. And his face had a rare look of panic. My mission interrupted, I had to randomly grab a book. This one's fine. Looks like I'm not finding out today. I'll go read in my room. The rest of the afternoon, Aiden was in the study, handling emails. The door was closed. He never closed the door when he worked from home. Something was off. He's always been an open book about his work and life. So what could he be hiding? Past girlfriends? I'd never heard of any. Could it be, he has an old flame? Maybe the box contains their love letters and mementos? People always said he was cold and emotionless, that he only loved his work. But what if he wasn't heartless? What if he'd already given his heart to someone else? Maybe I just happened to look like his old flame, and that's why he agreed to the arranged marriage. Is that why he's so nervous, afraid I'll find out? I was lost in thought when Aiden walked in. I have to go on a business trip tomorrow. I'll probably be gone for a few days. Call me if you need anything. A business trip? A business trip is good. I was just thinking I'd investigate you were out of the house. While Aiden was away, I went to work as usual. At noon. I was resting in Aiden's office after lunch when a girl suddenly burst in. Where's my brother? She looked me up and down, her tone arrogant. I didn't recognize her. Aiden is my cousin, she said, her chin held high. Oh, a cousin. Is my brother not here? She scanned the room, her gaze finally landing on me. He's on a business trip. So rude. I didn't want to deal with her. I looked down at my phone, not bothering to reply. She clacked over in her high heels. So you're the fake heiress who married my cousin? The one and only. You can call me your cousin-in-law. Humph. I really don't know what my cousin sees in an imposter like you. Probably because I'm beautiful. What are you so proud of? You think he actually likes you? She sneered. He and Jenna were made for each other. They were childhood sweethearts. What are you? If it weren't for Mr. Cole's grandfather insisting on this marriage, my cousin never would have married you. She got more and more smug. Oh, I bet you haven't seen it. My cousin has an old camera he treasures in his study. It was a birthday gift from Jenna. He's kept it all these years. Isn't it obvious who he really cares about? A camera? The study? The box I saw in the study last time looked just big enough to hold a camera. Could it be? Is it really that cliché? Aiden really has an old flame? Watching her arrogant back as she left, a sour feeling washed over me. Was everything we'd shared recently just my imagination? No. I can't just take her word for it. I told the assistant I was leaving and drove home, my mind in a daze. I couldn't wait until tonight. I needed to know what was in that box right now. I opened the door and brought in the stepladder. I was surprised to find the box still in the same spot. I carefully took it down. As I was about to open it, I realized my heart was pounding. Deep breaths. Relax. I slowly opened it. Like a movie in slow motion, a silver metal body came into view. It was an old-fashioned camera. The edges were slightly oxidized, but the body was polished different as a shine. You could tell its owner took great care of it. My heart sank. I felt suffocated. So what his cousin said was true. It makes sense. A man with his wealth could have anything he wanted. Why would he hide this camera here? And why was he so afraid I'd find out? Was he unable to forget the person who gave him the camera, or the memories that came with it? And what did that make me? A substitute in an arranged marriage? A tool to remember his old flame by? The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I put the camera back in the box and returned it to its spot. That night, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Fine. If he wants to treat me like his old flame stand-in, I'll treat him like my personal ATM. We each get what we want. Perfectly fair. I was in a funk. I decided to stop going to work at Cole Corp and went to work at Finn's Gallery instead. When Aiden came back from his trip a few days later, he didn't notice anything was amiss. He even bought me a purse. I saw this on my way back. Thought it would look good on you. I took it and glanced at it. Wow, this season's latest model. At least 7 figures. As expected of Mr. Cole. So generous, even to his stand-in. I said thank you and took it. He seemed used to my quietness. He turned and went back to his own business. But the next morning, when we were leaving, he looked confused as I headed in a different direction. Where are you going? Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm not working at the company anymore. I think the gallery is a better fit for me. Without waiting to see his frowning face, I drove off. Working at the gallery was fun. I was either painting or attending exhibitions. It wasn't boring at all, and it even felt a bit like being back in school. Finn was a real character. His personality was the same as in our school days, always full of passion and energy. He was always pulling little surprises. After a while, I'd mostly forgotten the unpleasantness of the camera. Aiden, however, had gone from confused to completely baffled. Why did my wife go to Finn's gallery? Didn't we agree? She seems really unhappy today. Did someone upset her? My wife seems to be avoiding me. Did I do something wrong? He finally figured it out. For days, I'd been leaving early and coming home late, trying to minimize our time together. Yes, I was still mad. I came home late again one night. Aiden wasn't back yet. Whatever. I showered, did my skincare routine, binged a show, and went to bed. Just as I finished my face mask, he came home. He reeked of alcohol. He rarely drank this much, at least not since I'd married him. He stood in the doorway, lips pressed together, his tie loosened. His suit jacket was slung casually over his arm, and his deep, drunken eyes were locked on me. The smell of alcohol was awful. "Wife, why are you avoiding me?" He stumbled toward me, his tall frame casting a shadow over me. "I'm not." This was the first time he'd ever called me wife. He must be really drunk. I didn't want to talk to a drunk, so I busied myself with my skincare bottles. "You are." He raised his voice. He slammed his hands on the sofa arms, trapping me between him and the couch. "Look at me." He grabbed my face and turned it toward him, his breath hot. "Honey, this isn't right." Yeah. I'm the one who's not right. Go find your old flame. I know this arranged marriage was unfair to you, but I've liked you for a long, long time. Why do you think I agreed to it? Because I was fucking desperate to be with you." His eyes were red-rimmed, his expression a mix of hurt and dominance. "You can't do this. You're giving me the cold shoulder. It hurts." That was a lot of information. My brain short-circuited. From the sound of it, he knew me long before this? "Is that true? You, like me?" I asked, just to be sure. He nodded. "Yes." "Since when?" "College." "Then why are you hiding a camera another woman gave you?" I turned my face away. I didn't want to admit I was jealous. "Another woman's camera?" "On the bookshelf in the study," I reminded him. "I bought that myself." The drunkenness seemed to clear for a second, then he grew nervous again. "Did you look at the photos inside? Do you think I'm some kind of creep? Is that why you're ignoring me?" "Creep? Where did that come from?" "I just liked you so much, honey, I couldn't help taking pictures of you. I didn't want you to see them. I was afraid you'd be scared of me." "What does he mean?" I blinked, still trying to process it, when he suddenly grabbed the back of my head, leaned in, and kissed me fiercely. It was clumsy and demanding, almost rough. I was nearly breathless from his kiss, my hands instinctively pushing against his chest. "Honey, please don't reject me," he panted, grabbing my hands and pressing them against his hot cheeks. He looked at me with that handsome, heartbroken face. I was suddenly at a loss for words. By the time I came to my senses, he had kissed me all the way from the sofa to the bedroom, and my clothes were half off. "Can I?" he asked, his face flushed, so close I could count his eyelashes. I didn't say anything. I just grabbed his tie and pulled his lips back violently mine. And just like that, I was swept into a whirlpool of passion. After our wild night, I was sore all over. In a daze, I felt a warm sensation move from my forehead to my lips. I opened my eyes to the sight of Aiden's handsome face, magnified. He was lying on his side, one arm wrapped around my waist, with none of last night's drunken haze. "You're awake?" His eyes flashed with the brief panic of being caught, but he quickly regained his cool, composed demeanor. I sat up. A dull ache flared up from a certain place. Remembering how this man had his way with me all night, my face flushed, and I couldn't help but glare at him. "Does it hurt? What's the deal with the camera?" "Humph. Don't think you can distract me with your good looks. You already know, don't you?" he said with a cough, looking away awkwardly. "Who knows if you're telling the truth," I pouted. "For all I know, it's a memento from an old girlfriend." "No way. I only have eyes for you." He denied instantly, his ears turning red. I smiled, deciding to stop teasing him. I dove into his chest and buried my face there. "You don't have to be embarrassed. I like you, too." The body I was hugging stiffened. He didn't say anything. I was wondering what was wrong. He looked down and kissed me fiercely again. "My wife just confessed to me. It's not one-sided anymore. I'm so happy." Oh, so he was just too excited to speak. Later, according to Aiden's confession, everything his cousin said was nonsense. He figures she must have heard about the camera from Nate and was just making things up. The camera was full of pictures of me that he'd taken in college. I asked him why he didn't just confess to me back then. We might have gotten together sooner. You said you didn't like my type, remember? He sounded a little hurt when he said that. I tried to remember when I would have said such a thing. Right, it must have been my freshman year. Our class went hiking, and someone asked me what my ideal type was. Someone outgoing, funny, and who knows how to make me laugh. What about the strong, silent type? Handsome, rich, but doesn't talk much. Not interested. Not interested. At the time, I was thinking that if you're in a relationship, you need to talk to each other and have some emotional connection. How can you date someone who doesn't talk? Who knew my words would get twisted by the time they reached his ears? So you interfered with the arranged marriage, then? Yeah. I told my grandfather I only wanted you, no matter who you were. No wonder the Devises gave in so easily. Mr. Cole, I said, pinching his hot earlobe. Holding back for all those years, was it tough? He looked at me, then rolled over and pinned me down, his eyes darkening. From now on, I'm not holding back. My wife, you're all mine now. I'll kiss you when I want to, and I'll sleep with you when I want to. I was going to tell him that I could hear his thoughts. But on second thought, it's probably better to keep this little secret to myself.